स्टूडेंट ये भी इवेंट हो रहा है, ये 1 घंटे का इवेंट, ठीक है। आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट की जाती है कि एक बार अपने मोबाइल पर साइलेंट मोड करो और बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है ये, और डॉक्यूमेंट का जो आपको करता है ये प्रैक्टिकल स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, प्रैक्टिकल स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो ये स्टूडेंट है, ठीक है, बनाते हैं क्लास में राइट होंगे तो मैं लर्न करने का कोशिश करूंगा। तो पूरा होगा अटेंडेंस भी नोट करेगा आपको देखते क्या बता रहे हैं, क्योंकि व्यवस्था नहीं है तो बता हम बच्चे में ना लड़की के नहीं आउट ऑफ सिलेबस आपको कॉमन हमारे कंसेप्ट होते हैं, आप जो चीजें होती हैं वो चीजों को बताया, इसलिए कोई भी इंडिसिप्लिन क्रिएट ना करें, ठीक है। कन्वर्टिंग में यहाँ पर आपको मॉनिटर करने के लिए कोई भी इंडिसिप्लिन क्रिएट ना करें और अटेंडेंस भी इसको ठीक है, क्योंकि हमारा आवाज डिस्टर्बेंस होगे तो वो वहां जाएगा, स्पीकर को डिस्टर्बेंस होगा। और स्वामी सर लाइव उसमें है, तब आपको वहां से मॉनिटर करना चाहिए, ठीक है। लाइव चल रहा है तो अपना पूरा डिटेल ओवरऑल वर्ड में कोई भी यूट्यूब पर लाइव देख रहा है, सारे कैंडिडेट लाइव है, तो ये ध्यान रखिए। डीन सर आ रहे हैं।
सर हेलो, हाँ 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 ठीक है, हाँ 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 ठीक है सर, ओके।
हो सकता है पास आउट है
हमने सबको मेल कर रहे हैं बट हमें पता है कि 8 को
क्योंकि टाइम कहाँ है, सही बात है। जैसे जैसे कोरोना बढ़ता जाएगा तो होगा भी नहीं।
राजस्थान
आ गया ओमिक्रॉन नहीं आया
साउथ अफ्रीका से है।
Hello. Hello. So a very good morning to one and all present here. Myself, Dr. Bhartin Sharma, on behalf of Mahatma Gandhi Nursing College, Jaipur, I welcome all of you for the today's guest lecture, that is on organ donation, nurses' roles and responsibilities. So this is, in brief, I will like to give introduction that organ donation, it is a very new concept. And nowadays, it is very much needed also, because there are many persons or many patients who are suffering from diseases in which their organs are not working. So in that case, their functioning, the functioning of their organs is hampered. And like if their kidneys are failed, if their heart is failed or liver is failed, so we know that all these functions are all these organs are very vital for the functioning of the body. So in such cases, the organ donation is very much needed. So to put light on various aspects of organ donation, and especially we nurses, we are providing all-round 360-degree angle care to the patients. Biological, physiological, sociological, psychological, spiritual, emotional, and there are all the dimensions of care we nurses are providing to the patient. So it is our great responsibility to provide specific care to the persons who want to donate their organ and to the patients who are in whom these organs are transplanted. So what all different aspects to that we have our special speaker for today, Professor Mrs. Rosemary from HOD from the Medical Surgical Nursing Department, Parul University, Gujarat. So she will put light on various aspects of this. So before proceeding further on this topic discussion, I welcome our Dean and Principal of Mahatma Gandhi Nursing College, Professor Mr. Giriraj Soni. I request all the participants to welcome by round of applause. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Giriraj sir. So now I request Giriraj sir to address the participant with some encouraging words. Sir, over to you.
Good morning to all. Good morning. And that welcome, especially welcome to Professor Rosemary. That today,
Thank you, sir.
That guest lecture on the organ donation and the nursing responsibilities. The organ donation, that today onwards, that is the so much important things. And just now, all of you also fill up the one of the affidavit regarding the organ donation, because that today onwards, that so many organ failure patient, they are required the organ. That means one of the person who is the brain dead, that can save the life of 8 to 9 person. So today onwards, that topic is that most important and both that's more knowledgeable for the student and the faculty. So again, I welcome to Professor Rosemary Matthew that accept the invitation of Mahatma Gandhi Nursing College on behalf of Mahatma Gandhi University of Medical Science and Technology as a Dean and Principal. Again, I welcome to Professor Rosemary.
Thank
They
you.
are taking that topic. So thank you very much. Today that busy schedule, I am not to that so much involved in these things. Thank you very much. Martin,
Yes,
that now
yes, sir.
start the
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So now I would like to welcome our eminent speaker, Professor Mrs. Rosemary. So welcome you, madam, for you accepted our invitation. And before giving to the Rosemary madam, I would like to give brief introduction of the Mrs. Rosemary madam. Rosemary madam has completed her MSc Nursing in 2009 from Alvas College of Nursing, and after that she is working in various institutions, and she has worked abroad also. She has worked in Canada as a registered practical nurse at Revara Healthcare, Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, and she has also worked for the Bay Shore Healthcare, Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, from 2014 to 2015. And in India, she has worked in various institutions, and she has more than 13 years of experience. Presently, she is working as a HOD of Medical Surgical Nursing at Parul University, and earlier to that, she has worked at Amity College of Nursing in Haryana, and before that, she has worked in the Akal College of Nursing, Badu Sahab, Himachal Pradesh, from 2016 to 2019, and she has also worked as an assistant professor in medical surgical nursing at Ajiza College of Nursing, Kollam, from 2010 to 2013. She has also worked as a nursing tutor cum clinical instructor at SH College of Nursing, Cherthala, from 2005 to 2007. She has received various awards and recognitions, like she has received Dr. J.K. Patel Memorial Award for Outstanding Academic and Research Contribution from the Parul University, Vadodara, in 2021. She has also received 5-star appreciation certificate from Nursing Scholar Society for upholding high standards of nursing education 2021. She has also been awarded with outstanding academic performance certificates in the critical care nursing program for Confederation College, Ontario, Canada, in 2015. She has various research experience also. Currently, she is working on a research project in which she is the principal investigator at Parul University, and this project is being funded by the Parul University on effectiveness of prescription-based short message services on medication adherence of stroke patients. So, madam is working on this project currently, and she has guided many MSc nursing students and BSc nursing students in the research process, in writing their dissertation. Madam also have various international and national publications in various journals in India and abroad. And Madam has also organized many conferences, workshops. Like recently, Madam has working and as an organizing committee member for the International E-Conference, which is being organized in the Parul University in the 13 to 18 December 2021. And many other, she has also worked as a organizer and organizing committee member of many conferences and workshops. So, with this great introduction, I request all the participants to welcome our eminent speaker with a round of applause. And without wasting much time, I request the Rosemary madam to present the topic. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful introduction. I am extremely thankful, first of all, for inviting me for this guest lecture on this topic of organ donation, the nursing roles and responsibilities. And I also use this opportunity to express my heartfelt thanks to the management of Mahatma Gandhi College of Nursing and Mahatma Gandhi University. So I think we can start on with the session. So I'm sharing my screen here. So can you enable the screen sharing? Hartendra sir, am I audible?
Yeah, madam, you are audible. Just wait, the IT persons are enabling you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Start your.
मैम अभी देखिए
हाँ, I think वो अभी आ गया एक मिनट. Is my screen visible now?
यस मैम
Okay, so let's start with the session today. So a warm good morning to one and all who have gathered here. And I see that maximum student groups are here. And I think like some of you might have learned about this topic already in your medical surgical classes. So we can see like what is the importance of this topic, organ donation. So if we say about this one, organ donation, like nowadays it is becoming more and more significant, especially because of the decreased number of organs donations which are being done nowadays. Okay, so we'll be dealing about all the different aspects related with the organ donation. The outline of the presentation will be we'll see what is organ donation, what are the statistics related to organ donation, the facts and myths about organ donation which is prevalent nowadays, and which are the organs which we can donate from one person to another. And also we'll see about the organ donation process, the organizations which are dealing with the organ donation, roles and responsibilities of nurses in the organ donation and the transplantation process, and what measures we can use for improving the organ donation rates. Then also we'll see about some of the issues related with the organ donation process and some of the researches which have been carried out in this area, and laws which are related to the organ donation in India. So these are the topics which I would be covering in today's session. So first, let me start with a case scenario as an introduction received like when I was going through this topic of organ donation. So this is a case which was admitted in one of the famous hospitals in India, and that is of a patient Harshit, who was a 21-year-old boy, and this person was declared brain dead. And what happened is that even though the person was declared brain dead, then even after that, the boy was kept in the ventilator. And then for some days, they have kept this boy on the ventilator. And then after that, they have taken off the person from the ventilation, because keeping him on the ventilator was like a waste of money. Okay. So in this situation, in this case scenario, what has happened? Neither the parents of the child were aware about the concept of organ donation, nor the doctors had given them some idea about the organ transplantation. Okay. So I hope you understood the scenario. So that means there was a 21-year-old boy who had undergone some type of a head injury, and then he was declared as brain dead. But at that particular moment, when the person was on ventilator, so that time they were not informed. The parents were not given any information regarding the concept of the organ donation. So because of this, what happened? If they were given information, then at least this person could have saved at least 7 to 8 lives of some other people. Okay. And but in this case, what happened? Unfortunately, the organs of the person has gone in vain. That means we were not able to use the organs of this person for the benefit of the uh, population, or for the benefit of the community. Okay. So this is just similarly which are occurring around us, that might go, and we do not know, like, health professionals itself do not have some idea related follow, and whether we should give some advice related with the organ donation or not, and how to start the conversation related to this. So there are so many dilemmas which are occurring related with this aspect. Okay. So in this type of a scenario, if they could have given some information in that one case itself, they could have saved even like 8 lives. So similarly, like this, how many cases of brain death may be occurring on a daily basis? So if all those persons are ready and willing to donate the organs, so there won't be a question of any people who are dying waiting for a transplantation to occur because they did not receive a organ. Okay. So that is why I have explained this in the first scenario, the case scenario itself, so that you just get an idea regarding the actual situation which is going on currently. So now we'll move into the topic, what is organ donation? So organ donation basically means the act of giving an organ. So in order to save or improve the life of someone who requires a transplantation, we are donating the organ to somebody else. Okay. So that is according to the National Health Service. This is the definition of the organ donation. And other words, we can say that organ donation and transplantation is the removal of an organ from one person, donor, and the person who will be receiving that organ, that will be the recipient. So once we have taken the organ, then it need to be surgically implanted into another person. So that person would be the recipient, and his organs might have failed. So that's why we have to implant the two types of donations which are occurring, like either living donors will be there or deceased donors will be there. That means a person who is dead, they can donate their organs. Like beforehand itself, they can give the consent, and all the formalities can be done related with the organ donation. Or in the other case, the paired organs can be donated, such as one kidney can be donated to another person, and one lung can be donated to another person. So like that, whichever is the paired organs that may be donated for saving the life of another person. So usually the donation, this usually happens within the family. Maybe you have somewhere read in the newspaper that the person is dying, and then the family like sometime mother might have donated one to the son. So the controversy also occurs, like on the opposite side also occurs. That means from the daughter or the son, the organ is being donated to the mother or the father. So this usually happens between the first degree relatives itself. Whereas the other one, like deceased donors, that means once a person has died, so that time the organs of the person may be retrieved, and then that will be donated to another person. So now let us see some of the statistics related with the organ donation. So why we required to see the statistics to know. So as per the US Department of Health and Human Services data, which is the 2020 data, so there are 106,922 people, including the men, women, and children who are waiting on the National Transplantation Waiting List. So these many people are requiring some sort of transplantation, but they are not able to do this transplantation because what is the reason? Anybody from the group, if you can say, you can also, I don't know, like how is the arrangements made, whether you can speak or not. But what may be the reason why people are not aware about organ donation? The most important factor is the lack of awareness itself. Okay, and that is why these many people are not receiving enough number of organs so that the organ donation can be conducted. And it is very surprising to know that 17 people die each day waiting for an organ transplantation. So only because they are not receiving a proper organ for the transplantation, these many people are dying on a daily basis. Okay, 17 people are dying each day. And every 9 minutes, another person is also added to the transplantation waiting list. So the waiting list, which we have told, like 106,000 people. So in that, every 9 minutes, another person is being added to this list. Okay, so such important is the concept of the organ donation presently, because this much of people are having problems, and they are not able to live forward only because they are not receiving adequate organs for the transplantation. So here, this is the statistics which is shown graphically. So in this picture, you can see this is as per the HRSA data. So here you can see like which are the organs which require more on demand when compared with the others. So in the list, we can see the first one is the kidney. Okay, so I think you, if you have gone for the clinical postings, like the students who are going for the medical surgical postings, you might have come across the patients with the kidney failure. Okay, so that means the CKD patient, chronic kidney disease, or chronic renal failure patient who are requiring the dialysis, like long-term dialysis. And then what happens towards the end? Like long-term dialysis is there, and towards the end, they can no longer go about with the dialysis, and then they require a renal transplantation. So kidneys are the organs which are mostly on demand, maximum on demand for the transplantation. So here you can see that the blue how much is received. So from this graph, you can see that around like 90,000 people are requiring the kidney transplantation, whereas as per the statistics, only 2 lakh people have actually received the organs for the transplant. Okay, so that is very less when compared with the actual required amount. And next, second to kidney, we have the liver. So liver is second in demand for the transplantation. So in the case of the liver, like almost the level is going same, even though the needed amount is little bit higher when compared with the received amount. Okay, so the other organs like heart, lung, and others, they are like comparatively less on demand, but the kidney and liver are the organs which are maximum on demand for the transplantation requirement. So now let's come to the Indian scenario, a developing country. And India is actually seriously lagging behind the Western and Asian countries in terms of organ donation. So in India, maybe the reasons are manifold, like why the organ donation is not being done. So we'll be discussing about these things towards the later session of the presentation. And as per the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization, NOTO, so this is the organization which is working as the apex organization. That means the central organization in India, which is dealing with the transplantation process and the organ donation process. Okay, so that is the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization. So as per their statistics, around 5 lakh people in India require organ donation every year. Okay, so this statistics always goes on increasing. So as per the 2020 statistics, the around 5 lakh people in India require the organ donation on a yearly basis. And as I told, in this, the maximum of the organ requirement is of the kidneys because of the renal failure. So the number of renal transplantation done in India, that is only like around 6,000. Okay, so you can understand how less the number of transplantations are being done. Even as annually around 1.8 lakh people are suffering from renal or kidney failure. So around 2 lakh people are suffering from renal or kidney failure, but out of that, only 6,000 people are actually undergoing the renal transplantation. Okay, so there is a great disparity between the numbers. Okay, so that means the numbers which are actually requiring a transplantation and those who are receiving the transplantation in the current scenario or the situation. Okay, so I think from this you are getting an idea like how much huge is the problem of related with the organ donation and transplantation. So we have a very important role to play in relation with this process and to improve the organ donation requirements. So in the case of liver, if we take like about 10% to 15% of the liver failure or liver cancer patients, they annually can be saved, their life can be saved with a timely liver transplantation intervention. So if we have done a proper liver transplantation, we could have saved at least 10 to 15% of the liver failure patients who are there currently. And if we take the case of heart transplantation is done very less in India. Like as per the statistics, only like 10 to 15 heart transplantations are performed in India every year. Even though like 50,000 people are suffering from heart failure on an annual basis. So I think you might have studied about the conditions like congestive heart failure. Okay, second year BSc nursing, like medical surgical, and third year BSc nursing, and even MSc nursing students. So around 50,000 of people are suffering from the heart failure, and they are going into such a situation that they require a heart transplantation as a last resort. But here in the actual situation, what is happening, like very less number of heart is being transplanted. And you know that maximum of the hospitals, they may not be well equipped to perform a heart transplantation procedure. Only like bigger hospitals like Max, Fortis, and all those things, AIMS. So these type of hospitals are conducting the heart transplantation, but only very few which are having the facilities, they are doing the transplantation, but others are not able to perform this type of a procedure, and that is leading to the disparity in the numbers. So from the statistics, you got an idea regarding how much great is the problem related with the transplantation process. So now let us see some of the myths and facts about the organ donation. So why this organ donation process is not occurring properly? That may be because there are certain myths in the mind of the people. Myths means like some type of what do you say for the myths? Like that means there is something in the mind of the people, like wrong type of ideas are there in the minds of the people, and because of this they are not proceeding for a transplantation. Okay, so let's first clarify like what are the myths related with the organ donation and transplantation. So first myth is that the organ and tissue donation will harm the body. Okay, so that is the first one. So people are thinking that even in the case of a live donor or in the case of a death one, so especially in the case of a live donor, like they want to donate one paired organ to another person who is having a failing kidney. So in that case, they are thinking that once my organ is taken, then I may be like harmed or I may be injured in some way or the other. But the actual fact is that the donated organs and tissues are surgically removed and they do not actually scar the person. Okay, so it is like as a person is undergoing any other normal surgery. So similar to that, only the organ retrieving process also will take place. And there is no question that a person will be like unnecessarily harmed or injured during the process. Okay, and many studies have already established the fact that a person, even though they are living with a single kidney, if that kidney is working normally, then there will not be any issue to the individual. Okay, so this is one myth which we need to clarify with whoever is going to undergo a transplantation or whoever is going to come forward for the donation process. Okay, sometimes when you are working in the clinical situation, sometimes the patient or the relatives of the person may come to you because you are a nurse, and then they are asking you like whether it is possible for this person to donate one organ to another one. So you should be able to explain that it is like this, and you are not going to have any type of injury, and you are not later in your life also you are not going to have any type of a problem because you have donated one of your organ to another one. Okay, and even in the case of a dead person, like they are while they are retrieving the organs, that means the process of taking out the organ, during that time also they are very careful that they they will try to maintain the contour of the organ, the body as such, so that there are no scars which are remaining on the body, and everything like looks perfectly all right from the outside. So everything will be managed in such a way that no type of disfigurement will be present on the body of the individual. Then another myth is that the organ donation is prohibited by the religion. So some people may think that maybe the some religious things are there, like the religion is not allowing them for the organ donation. But as far as our knowledge, organs and tissue donation and transplantation are not frowned upon by any religion, because in all the religion we are always telling like what are the ways in which we can help each other, so that only we are doing. So in that case, sometimes there may be some type of misconceptions also in the mind of certain people, like for example, if I'm donating my organ in this life, so in the next rebirth I may be born with without that organ. Okay, so some type of maybe myths are there or superstitious beliefs are also there. So as a nurse you should be able to clarify this type of misbeliefs in the minds of the people or the relatives of the person. Then next is organ donation comes with a cost to the donor's family. So this is again another reason why many of the people may keep themselves away from the donation process, because they think that they have to travel from one far off place to another place, and then they have to bear all the expenses of this organ donation, and then only they can donate the organ. But the actual fact is that the family of the donor is never penalized for giving the organs and the tissues. That means once a person has signed up for donating the organ, so that means that this person is not being that person is donating the organ, and then they are not being taken any fees for or charges for this donation procedure. That means the hospitals which are actually retrieving the organ, they only have to bear all the expenditure related with the organ donation process, and not the person who is donating the organ. So again, this thing need to be clarified with the patient, that means the donor who is coming up to you. So you should be able to clarify this, and then the people also will come forward for the donation process. Then another myth is is that the heart, liver, and the kidneys are the only organs that may be given. So it is not like only these organs can be donated. We can also donate other organs, like like almost we can say that most of the organs can be donated. Okay, so like pancreas, lungs, small intestine, large intestines, parts of the stomach. So everything can be donated. So even the tissues also, like nowadays all the different types of transplantation are available, because we have all the modern facilities which are in place, and as a result we are able to retrieve the organs, almost all the organs from the people who are willing to donate them. And another thing which you can make the people aware is that they can also, like after the death, they can also donate their body as such. Okay, so the whole body as such can be donated, mainly for the research purposes and for the education purposes. Okay, so you know that for the medical courses, they require for the dissection purposes. Okay, so unless and until we are receiving the dead body of the person, how the future generations are going to carry out their researches and studies and further things. Okay, and you know that research is the base for the further knowledge enhancement. Okay, so these type of things need to be made aware among the general public, so that they develop some type of a positive attitude towards the organ donation process, and thereby many people come forward to donate their organs in the future. Okay, so these are some of the myths and facts which are currently there related with the organ donation. So now let's see like which are the organs which can be donated. So as I already told, like we can donate any of the organs which are present in the body, like liver, kidney, pancreas, heart, lung, almost all the organs, like intestine, corneas. Okay, cornea can be donated, middle ear, skin can be donated, bone marrow, heart valves, and even parts of the connective tissues can be donated. Okay, and also different other structures like uterus, bone, muscles, nerves. Okay, so any of these parts can be donated. So this actually depends on how much facilities are available in that particular hospital for retrieving those organs, and how much specialists are there in order to do the transplantation procedure. Okay, so based on that, almost all the organs are amenable for the transplantation procedure. So now let us see about the organ donation process. So basically what is happening during the organ donation. Okay, so once like in the case of person whose organs need to be given at the time of death, so usually as per the rules which are available in India, only the people who are brain dead, the brain death has been declared, in that case only they will be donating the organ. They will be able to donate the organ to another recipient. So once a person is declared brain dead, so there are actually lots of criterias which are there to determine like whether a person is brain dead or not. And there will be a group of medical professionals who will be declaring the person as brain dead. Usually 3 to 4 medical professionals need to be there in that team. So the person will be kept on a ventilator, that means on a mechanical ventilator, until necessary approvals have been obtained. Okay, so initially there are lot of procedures which they have to carry out, so many signatures, consent forms they have to sign, and these procedures are there, like formalities are there, so that need to be done before the organs can be retrieved from an individual. Okay, so once a person is declared brain dead, then until and unless we finish all these documents which need to be done and all the necessary approvals which need to be taken, the person is kept on a ventilator. Okay, so then what happens, these organs of the person who is brain dead, that may stay alive for a period of time from few days to weeks. So even though it is said that for a few days to weeks it may remain alive, but the thing is that we have to try to procure the organ as soon as possible, because as the time increases, the chances of damage also will increase. Okay, so that is why, like, as soon as possible, once all the requirements have been done and approvals have been obtained, then we have to retrieve the organ. So after the family has given the consent, then the organs are retrieved from the donor. So as per the current laws which are available in India, even though the person has given their consent for the transplantation process, the people, like the nearby kins of the person, okay, so they have to give their consent. Then only, like, we can retrieve the organ from the donor. So the person might have given their consent previously, like in a written forms of the individual. They need to give their consent, and then only the organs can be retrieved from the donor. Outside the body for long time. Okay, and then the process of organ transplantation need to be done fast. So maybe like from one place, like we have to transport the organ to another area. So that need to be transported as early as possible, so that the chances of organ the viability of the organ can be preserved. Okay, and the organ is in a best possible condition, so that it can be transplanted safely into the recipient. And the family of the donor will not receive anything, and the recipient is also not charged for the organs. So as per the situation which is prevalent in India as well as in other countries, we cannot charge, or we cannot take any amount from the um, for the retrieval of the organ, from neither from the donor or from the recipient. Okay, so the donor will freely give their organ. They also cannot ask for any money from the recipient. Okay, the recipient also will take the organ, and they also will not pay any money to the whoever is giving the organ. Okay, so because these all are legalized in India and as well as in other countries also, so that is why everything is going in a legal aspect itself, so that cannot make it in a commercial form. Okay, but sometimes you might have heard that the other in other ways also it may happen in some areas, at least in some situations. Okay, because why this happens? Because people are actually not aware about all these rules and regulations, what they have to follow, and what is the actual legal situation which is prevalent in India. They might not be aware. So because of this, what happens? Somebody else is misusing them. Okay, so when they are trying to receive the organs or trying to donate the organs, the people may ask for money. Okay, so this is also one thing which you need to educate to the general public, that this is the prevalent legal situation in India, that you will not be asked for any money related to this donation process. Okay, so this will be the organ donation process which happens. So here you can see like a diagrammatic representation. So once the diagnosis of the person has been made, the brain death has been announced, then we are immediately looking for trying to coordinate between like how many people are requiring the transplant, what type of transplant they are requiring. So the referrals need to be made to suitable persons, and family discussions also need to be done, so that the family are also aware about what is going to happen. Okay, because many times people also will not be aware about what is going to happen, so we have to explain to them in simple terms which they are able to understand. And then a team of medical professionals will be there. They will be conducting the medical evaluation in order to find out whether the organs are fit for the transplantation process or not, and how we have to carry about the transplantation. Then the matching will be done. So the serological cross matching will be done, the grouping and all those things will be done, whether this is appropriate to be matched, both the organs are matching or not. And then after that, the transplantation process need to be arranged. So in that, we will be retrieving the organ from the donor, and then we will be the preservation and transportation of the organ will be done. And wherever is the site of transplantation, up to that area, the organ will be transported. And from there, the transplantation process will be carried out again by a team of the transplantation specialist. Okay. So a team will be there, which is consisting of the doctors, nurses, and all the other intensivists, whoever is required, they will be carrying out the surgical procedure. Okay. So this will be the whole process of how the organ transplantation or tissue transplantation is taking place. So now let us see like which are some of the organizations which are dealing with the transplantation process in India. So in India, as I previously mentioned, we have the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization, that is the NOTO. So this is the apex organization at the national level for networking and coordination to distribute and procure the organs and tissues. So this organization is specifically working towards improving the organ donation process. Okay, but even though like we as nurses, like we are working in the nursing field or in the education field, like many of the times what we come across is that we are not directly working in coordination with any of these type of organizations. Okay, but actually on the other hand we have to. Okay, so we have to actually work in coordination with the different organizations which are available for the organ transplantation, which is in India. So this organization, that is the NOTO, they will also help to maintain the registry of the organs and tissue donations. That means how many organ and tissue donations are being carried out in India. So all the details also they will keep a list of how many organ donation process are taking place all over in the country. So the maintenance of the statistics is very important because for the evaluation point of view. So how much is the organ donations which are carried out in India, and as against what is the requirement of the organs. So likewise, we should be able to compare. So for this, we require the statistics. So the registry of the organs and tissue will be properly maintained. And another thing is to prevent any type of forgeries and any type of mishappenings which occur in between. Okay, because sometimes what happens, the people are misusing these type of opportunities, like the organ donation process is being misused by others, and then they are taking it in a business point of view. Okay, so that also need to be avoided. For this, we have to keep a proper registry of all the tissue donations and organ donations. Then the other organizations which are working, the important ones are the ROTO. That means similar to the NOTO, we have at the regional level, we have the Regional Organ and Tissue Transplantation Organization in India. Okay, so in different regions, we have the ROTO, that means Regional Organ and Tissue Transplantation. And at the state level, we have the State Organ and Tissue Transplantation Organization. Okay, so because of these different other organizations at different levels, it will be helping with the decentralization process. That means at the state level also, they will be able to maintain their own registers. At the regional level also, they can maintain the registers. And the whole process will be under proper strict surveillance. Then another organization is called as the Organ itself, Organ Receiving and Giving Awareness Network. That is a full form. So this is an initiative by the Parashar Foundation, which is a Delhi-based NGO, to facilitate the organ donation in India. So this is also one of the very active organizations which is dealing with the organ donation process. It is called as the Organ. Then other than this, we have which are the other NGOs, non-governmental organizations dealing with the organ donation process. We have the Narmada Kidney Foundation, Apex Kidney Foundation, Indore Society for Organ Donation, and another organization is the Mother, which is Multi-Organ Transplantation and Human and Educational Research Organization. Okay, so this is again another yet another NGO which is even carrying out various types of research activities related with the organ transplantation. Then another is the Mohan Foundation. Then we have NNOS, that is National Network for the Organ Sharing. And we have the NDTN India, that is National Deceased Donors Network. transplantation network. So all these are the different other organizations which are currently working in India dealing with the organ donation process. And you may also find other organizations also in local levels. So now let's come to the most important part, that is what are the nurses' roles and responsibilities related with the organ donation and the transplantation process. So as nurses, we have lots of roles to play related with the organ donation. And the nurses may work in different positions, in different clinical situations. Um, and in those situations, like what type of roles they have to play during the process of organ retrieval and transplantation. So if the nurse is working in a clinical area, like as a normal nurse, like a hospital nurse we call, or a clinical nurse. So in case the patient or the family is asking the nurse about the possibility of the organ donation or the transplantation, the nurse has to definitely notify this to the transplantation team who is working in the hospital. Okay, we are actually bound to do this, but many a time maybe in the actual situation it is not being followed. Okay, so as nurses, the person may be like a very junior staff nurse who is working in a hospital, but they also have a very important role to play, because they are the first persons of contact between the patient and the nurse. Okay, or between the patient and the health team. So what we have to do is, if somebody is just showing a small interest in donation or organ donation, related with that they are asking some questions, so we should have the time to reply to them, and we should try to talk to them in a proper way. And many times, like sometimes the nurses also are busy, they may say like we do not have the time, or we are not dealing with this. Okay, so instead of giving these type of answers, so we can let them know like what type of information which you already know about the organ transplantation, you can let them know. And you give the number of the contact persons, or maybe you can take the person directly to the people who are directly working with the transplantation team, so that the whole process becomes much easier for them. Okay, so that is one thing which as a staff nurse or as a clinical nurse, the role of the nurse will be. Okay, so they are actually acting as a facilitator. Okay, so whoever is coming to you for asking for an organ transplant, or from where I can receive the transplant, you should be able to give the proper answers and proper clarifications to all the patients. Then next is in the case of ICU nurse, a nurse who is working in the critical care unit or in the ICU. So the ICU nurses, most of the time, they get more chances dealing with this organ donation and like retrieving of the organs, because they are the people who directly come to know like how many people are undergoing brain death. Okay, so they will get the first hand information, so they will be able to better coordinate in their role. So the ICU nurses, they take care of the live donors and recipients after the organ donation, and deceased persons till the time of the organ donation after the brain death. So they have to take care of the people who are doing the organ donation, either it is a live donor or a deceased donor. So the because the surgeries will be taking place, and then they have to take care of the people who have done the transplantation, whether it be a live donor or it is a dead person. And if the patient or relatives they have any doubt, so that needs to be clarified by the ICU nurse or the transplant team. So in case you do not have the specific answer to tell to them, so in that case you can surely refer them to the specialized people. That means the transplantation team is available. So definitely you can allow them to contact the transplantation team, so that they will get a better idea regarding the whole process. So that is again the role of a ICU nurse. So the nurse again has to take up this role, that they have to take care of the people who are donating their organs. It is not that we have received the organs and after that we are not taking care of the people. Okay, so it is actually the responsibility of the nurse to take care of the person till the person is getting discharged, and even after that the follow-up also need to be taken properly, that the person is coming back to a normal life. Okay, so that also need to be taken care of. That means the whole process of rehabilitation also need to be taken care of. The next role is as a transplant nurse. So that means the transplantation nurse, they are actually involved in the team. The transplantation team will be there. That means a specialized team who is dealing with the transplantation. So when a patient is awaiting an organ transplant, he or she will be under the intensive medical care. So they will have to be kept in the under the medical treatment. So they have to be provided with different types of medications and treatments and all those things. So the transplantation nurses have to take care of these things. Okay, so that means the nurse who is working as part of the transplant team. So in most of the transplantation centers, the patient has a specific nurse. So one nurse will be assigned to the patient. Okay, so this is mainly to avoid any type of further confusion, and the patient also will feel more comfortable to talk with the same person, okay, or contact with the same person in case of any queries. So the same person will be there who will be seeing the patient regularly, and all the follow-up will be done related with the lab work, and this nurse itself will act as a liaison between the patient and the transplant physicians. Okay, so that means here more of a coordination type of a role will be there. That means they have to do all the things, whatever is happening related with the transplantation, that need to be taken care of by the nurse who is working in the transplantation team or in the transplantation process. And the nurse also need to educate the patients about the transplantation process, and providing emotional support is also very important. This is again a very important part which many times people may neglect. Okay, so the emotional aspect of the transplantation also need to be taken care of, because either this person is a donor and they are donating the organ to another one. So you can just imagine, like especially in the case of a live donor, it will not be a very easy thing to do, because we are live, and at that time itself we are donating one organ to another person. Okay, because the person itself will be thinking about themselves, like what is going to happen to me, like whether I'm going to suffer from any other type of problem in the future. So these type of so many type of psychological disturbances will be there in the mind of the people. So as a nurse, it is very important to understand these type of emotional disturbances which are taking place in the mind of the people, and they are not getting discouraged to do the transplantation. Okay, so that also need to be taken care of. So the whole process needs to be like emotionally also we have to take care of the individuals who are doing the transplantation. And then in the case of the recipient who have received the organ, in that case also we have to provide reassurance to the people, because otherwise they also may think that this organ is not maybe it may not work in my body, or maybe some type of failure may occur in my body. So this type of like miscommunication also might happen. Like even a single word of miscommunication may create so much of psychological impact on the patient. So we have to be very careful related with the communication which is taking place within the team. Okay, so we have to make sure that we are communicating in a proper manner within the healthcare team, and no information related with the patient need to be disclosed to the outside unless they are part of the healthcare team. Okay, so we should not be discussing this in any other media platforms, so that the private informations are also not being disclosed outside. Then another role of the nurse is as the procurement nurses. So procurement nurse means the nurse who is actually dealing with the collection of the organs from the donor. Okay, so that nurse is called as a procurement nurse. So in most of the outside countries, and in India also, like in specialized hospitals, we have the specialized nurses who are already trained as procurement nurses. So the procurement nurses, they will initiate the contact with the family of the patient whose organs will be suitable for the transplantation. So they are actually contacting the people from where the organ donors are there, and then the organs need to be retrieved. So they will serve as the contact with these people, and they coordinate with the timing of the organ harvest from the donor. So at what time, what is the appropriate time, most appropriate time to collect the organ from the donor? So that all things will be taken care of by the procurement nurse. And actually this process of taking the organ, so that is called as the organ harvesting. So the procurement nurse, they also will assist with the surgical removal of the organs from the donor, and they also need to be there, like when the surgical process is taking place. So that time also they need to coordinate with the surgical team, whoever is there in the surgical team, the procurement nurse, because this person will be knowing the full details about the patient, so they can also communicate with the members of the surgical team and ensure that organs are properly transported to maintain the viability when they will reach the recipient. So this part is also very important. So whether the proper temperatures are being maintained during the transportation process, and whether the storage is done properly. So all these different details also need to be taken care of by the procurement nurses, so that the whole process is going to be successful. Okay, so because in many cases it has been found that in like sometimes the organs which are taken retrieved even after doing all the tests and all those things, they might not be suitable for the transplantation at the time of transplant. Okay, so that is why we need to take care of the transportation process also, to make sure that the organs are in a viable state. Then the surgical nurses, that means who are actually working in the OT. Okay, so the transplant team consists of the doctors and nurses who are specially trained in the transplant, and this will involve two categories of patients. So we will have the donor on one side and we have the recipient on the other side. So the surgical nurses, that means the nurses who are working actually with the operation or with the in the OT, so they have to actually coordinate between the donor as well as the recipient. So in certain cases, separate surgical teams also might handle the situation, but in other cases, the same team will be performing both the surgeries. So in either way, it can happen. So the nurse, when they are working as part of the surgical team, they have to make sure that they are coordinating properly with both the sides. With the donor side as well as with the recipient side, and they have to take care that no type of complications are occurring either in the donor or in the recipient. Then another role of the nurse is as a nurse educator. So this is one thing which anybody can do. Okay, so whoever is in the nursing field, they can go about being a nurse educator, and they can go on educating the public related with the organ donation process. So we can arrange continuing education programs. I think in many of the organizations, they are already doing it for because in your organization also, like now the administration has taken the interest in arranging this type of lectures. So it is actually especially important that first the health professionals are sensitized regarding these type of topics. Then only we will be able to pass on this information to the general public. Okay, so first of all, we should be having the information related to all these aspects, and we need to be sensitized also, so that we come forward for working actively in all these aspects, and with coordinating with the different organizations, so that we will be able to move further. So nurses need to be made aware about the legal aspects which are involved in the organ donation process also. And as per one of the study which was done in NIMHANS, the Mental Health Institute in Bangalore in 2015, about 81% of the nurses, they were actually willing to sign the card for the organ donation. So once the nurses are getting motivated, so they are actually willing to sign the cards for the organ donation. Okay, so today I am becoming an organ donator. Okay, so like that they will be getting receiving a card also for that. But only 3.8% of them actually signed the organ donation card. So many people may be interested in this, But the thing is that there is no proper venue, or there is no proper coordination related with these aspects. Like people are not being informed properly, or they are not getting a proper environment for the donation of the organs. They are not coming. That's why that may be the reason why they are not moving forward for the donation process. Okay, so that is why only very less people are actually signing the organ donation card. So that is why it is very important that we sensitize the people first, sensitize the healthcare professionals, and take their willingness so that they also will become a part of the organ donation process. Then another role of the nurse is as a nurse researcher. That means the nurses, like in between also, I have told that many researches are being conducted in this area, in the field of organ donation. It is like concerning with quality of life of the live donors. So once a donation process has been done, what is the quality of life in the donor? And also what about the life of the recipient and their families? Like, are they leading a normal life or not? What about the persons who have been involved in the organ donation process? What about the health professionals who have involved in the organ donation? So like this, many different research studies also can be carried out, and it need to be carried out in order to further enhance the process of organ donation. And then another role is the role of the nurse administrators. So the administrators, they need to take initiative to develop guidelines which clarifies the role of nurses in organ donation and transplantation process in order to promote the organ donation. So the role of administrator is very important, because unless and until we get the support from the administrative part, we may not be able to put all of these things into the action. Okay, so that's why the administration role is also very important. And the senior people or the nurse administrators, they have to really play an important role in further enhancing the process of the organ donation, and try to involve more and more people so that willingly they come forward for the organ donation. So these are the main roles of the nurses. And now let's see, like, what are some of the measures we can take for improving the organ donation. So the measures which we can take in India, like related with the organ donation process, is like the first and foremost thing is we have to raise the awareness. Okay, so creating awareness among the general public is the most important aspect. So as far as possible, because we are all health professionals, we are coming in contact with patients, the family members of the patient. So we can act as the first hand, the connection between the society and the healthcare team. Okay, so we try to create awareness among the general public, and wherever the brain death is occurring, so the people should be able to talk out freely, and they should be able to discuss about this aspect of the organ donation, and try to give ideas about organ donation to the public, and motivate them for coming into this process of organ donation. And they also need information related with which all organs can be donated. So we have already discussed about these aspects. So these informations need to be carried forward. Then nowadays, the mass media, they have a very important role to play. Okay, because we know that all the things are being shared on the mass media. So the internet, television, newspapers, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, everything we can use for this. So we can use the different social media platforms to provide awareness to the general public, because the public need to be made aware about what are the main facts related with the organ donation. If they are having any type of false beliefs or superstitious beliefs, so we need to clarify those beliefs with these people, so that these people are it will be like a simple thing, but unless and until somebody is taking the initiative, it is not going to work out. So that's why, as health professionals, we can think that we need to take the initiative, we have to take the action. Okay, so don't wait for anybody else to come forward and take the action. So you yourself can come forward, and we can also do many things for improving this organ donation process, and thereby motivating the people to come into this organ donation. Then the nurse should act as the point of contact or the license. So this one, the main role of the nurse is as a communicator, and how the nurse acts as a coordinator between the different aspects. Once a person has given a consent for the organ donation, as I already mentioned previously, they will try to have one person in the contact. They will try to keep one person or one nurse in the contact, so that they do not get confused by talking to different people. Okay, so if the same person is talking and coordinating with the patient and also with the healthcare team, then it will be easier to carry out the things. So that is why we can improve the organ donation process if in majority of cases we are keeping one person who can act as a point of contact or the license. Then other measures for improving the organ donation include periodic evaluations and monitoring. So there should be a proper surveillance and monitoring system which is available in place in all the connecting all the government and private hospitals. Okay, so if the system is in place, we have to make sure that the system is working properly. Okay, all the areas need to be connected properly and made sure that no single entry is done without being entered in the register. Okay, no single transplantation is done without being entered in the register. So that need to be taken care of. And the government hospitals, they need to be stepped up, because in many cases, you know that many government hospitals, they may not have the adequate facilities for doing this type of transplantation. So we need to step up the government hospitals further, so that all the facilities are also being available, and people are able to contact directly, and they can widen the scope of transplantations which are being carried out. Okay, so these are some of the measures which we can take for improving the organ donation. So next, let's see like what are some of the issues which are related with the organ donation process. What type of issues are there related with the organ donation? So in the actual situation, we may come across different problems, such as one is lack of family consent. Okay, because during the organ donation process, I told you that we have to take the consent from the family and the significant others. So many times what happens, once a person is like brain dead, then the family of the patient, they might not be knowing like what is the actual procedure for doing or giving the consent. And sometimes the health members are also confused, healthcare professionals also might be confused, because at this time already the family members are worried about the like they are already in a very grief situation because they lost their family member. So how we'll talk to the family in during this time? Okay, so these type of thoughts will be there in the mind, but the thing is that we are doing something for the benefit of a lot of people. Okay, not for the benefit of one person also, but for many others. So thinking about this, we will have to take up the role, the initiative, that we may have to speak up to the people and try to explain to them in very convincing terms and in very simple language which they are able to understand without hurting the feelings of the people. That is very important. Okay, so we need to understand that the family is in a very grief situation. At the same time, try to understand their situation, and then we can explain to regarding the opportunity of organ donation to the family members. So that is one situation which may occur during the organ donation. Then another one is related with the superstitions and misconceptions. So this one, I think some of the things I have already covered. So many type of superstitious beliefs and misconceptions may be prevailing in the community related with the organ donation process. So we have to take care that all these superstitious beliefs are being clarified to the people, and they are having the clarity in the whole process related with the organ donation. Okay, so that if somebody wants to come forward for the organ donation, we should not be also not preventing them from doing this. Okay, so we have to provide all the support to those people who are coming forward with the organ donation. Then lack of education and awareness. So that one I have discussed during the role of the nurse. So as an educator, the nurse also has to act in this role. That means to provide awareness to the general public. So all the clarifications need to be done to the public related with the organ donation process. Then another issue which may be encountered is the lack of brain death declaration. So sometimes what happens, the doctors also may delay in declaring that a person is brain dead or not. Okay, and maybe some of you also might have seen these type of situations if you have worked in the clinical situations. Like some form of a delay might be there, like in declaring that a person is brain dead or what to do forward. Okay, so this type of clarifications might be required in the actual clinical situation. So if we have to encourage with the organ donation process, we have to make sure that the brain death declaration is done correctly at the proper time, so that the relatives of the person also will get a time to think over the things and what they can do in order to donate the organ. So that is one thing which need to be improved. The next is lack of organ transplant retrieval centers. Okay, so this one is like at a central level or at the state level or regional level. So even though we have some of the centers which are available, like that is not adequate. The retrieval centers or the transplantation centers, as I told, many of the government hospitals also need to be equipped. It need to be stepped up so that they also have all the facilities in order to do the organ transplantation and also for the organ retrieval. They also need to act as the organ collection centers or the retrieval centers. So all the adequate facilities need to be made available in all the hospitals, whether it is a government hospital or whether it is a private hospital. Then another is lack of uniform practice in hospitals on brain death diagnosis. So sometimes there is some disparity in the criteria where a person is recognized as brain dead. Okay, because one hospital is following one criteria, another hospital might be like there may be slight difference in the criteria which they are following. Okay, so this type of disparity which is there in the diagnosis process, that also will affect the organ retrieval. Okay, so that is why the administrative level also need to take the steps so that there is a uniform criteria which is available in all the hospitals, whether it is a government hospital or a private hospital. A uniform criteria need to be there in place so that there is no confusion related with the declaration of the brain death and further proceedings which are taking place. If a person need to come forward with the organ donation, like what should be the process which need to be followed. So everything need to be clearly mentioned. Then last one is the ethical aspects. So ethical aspects, which is one of the most important aspect related with the organ donation, because like as I told, like many in many areas, the negative things are also happening. That means the commercialization of the organs are also taking place. So we also need to take active role in preventing these type of things, mishappenings from occurring. Okay, so commercialization need to be avoided. That is one thing. And another thing is all the ethical principles need to be followed. So you already know, like we have the principles of beneficence, non-maleficence. So we should not be doing any type of harm to anybody during the whole process of the organ donation. Okay, all the ethical principles need to be kept in mind throughout the process of organ donation. So autonomy, which is very important thing. Autonomy means, you know, that the person, whoever is doing the donation of the organ, they have the full autonomy to either do the donation or to reject the donation. Okay, it is completely up to them. Until the last minute they can decide. Okay, so this thing is something which we need to understand, and we need to make others also aware about this. All the health professionals also need to make sure that we are following all the ethical principles throughout the whole process of the organ donation. Okay, so these are some of the problems related to the organ donation, and which we'll be able to tackle properly, and the measures also I have discussed. And now coming to the some of the research reports related with the organ donation, and some of the important ones, like you can see, like lots of researches are available if you search on the internet. Like I have just taken only two of them. So one is from the US, the a study which was done from the US. It is a review in the year 2016, as per the data which is available from them. In 2016, 27,630 organs were transplanted from 9,971 deceased donors. That means from the dead persons, like they have transplanted these many organs. But as of 2017, a total of 1,16,602 individuals were included on the nation's organ transplantation wait list. So actually, what happens is that still there is a large gap which is there related with how many number of people requires the transplantation and how many are actually coming forward to do the transplantation. Okay, so there is a substantial gap which is existing even now. So we have to make sure that this gap gets reduced. And in 2015, like around 5,000 organs which were already retrieved, they were discarded because they were found unsuitable for the transplantation. Okay, so this is what I was telling you previously also. So that means until the organ is transplanted, we have to make sure that it is maintained, the viability is being maintained, so that once we are collecting the organ and then we have to discard it, then it is very much loss of time and energy and all the different aspects. Okay, so finance also, like everything is being wasted. So that's why we have to make sure that the efficacy, how much we are able to put that efficacy into action, so that also need to be taken care of. Then another research is a survey which is conducted among 476 kidney transplant recipients from the University of Michigan, 2015. So this one is actually quality study consideration. So most of the patients, recipients, they reported meaningful improvements in the health and lifestyle after the kidney transplantation. So many of them, maximum of them, they improved after the transplantation. But there were only a very less population. They were found to have some maybe like side effects, or they had developed some of the problems after the transplantation. So in that, according to this research, some of the problems which are identified were worries about how long the transplant will function, what is the future health, what is going to be the future health, and cost and quality of the health care. So these were some of the most important problems which the people were facing during the transplantation process. Okay, so they were mainly concerned about whether this transplant is going to work properly in the future or not, and what will be my future health, and how much cost I have to give. So these all were the major problems or themes which emerged as a result of this research. And also they had recommended that further researches need to be done in this area of organ donation, because until and unless we are doing more and more research studies, then only we are coming to know about what is the existing condition. Because even though many researches might have been done previously, that will give a data only of the previous years, but we want the data of the existing time. So that is why we have to do more and more researches in order to get more current information related with the organ donation and transplantation. Then lastly, some of the laws related with the organ transplantation. So in India, this is the most important law, that is the Transplantation of Human Organs Act. So this act was passed in the year 1994, and this is regulating the whole process of organ donation in India. So this Transplantation of Human Organs Act, this is aimed at regulation of removal, storage, and transplantation of human organs for therapeutic purposes and for prevention of commercial dealings related with the human organ. So as per this act, they have to completely take the organs only for therapeutic purpose and not for any other misuse. Okay, so that need to be like therapeutic in the sense for the treatment purposes as well as for the educational or research purpose. The act also legalizes the concept of brain death. And as I already mentioned, joint declaration is required by a panel of 4 doctors, which includes medical administrator and authorized specialists need to be there, neurologists need to be there, and also the current doctor who is treating the patient. Okay, so 4 people or 4 members, medical professionals need to be there in the team in order to declare the person as brain dead, and then the organ need to be retrieved from the donor. Okay, that means the deceased person. And then apart from this, we have the regulations which are there for the individual states. I have already told about the regional organization as well as the state organization. So they will be regulating the further activities in their own states. Okay, so at the central level, we have the NOTO, which is the organization, and also at the regional and state levels, also we have the organizations. So these organizations will further regulate all the aspects which are carried out in their respective areas. So that is about the laws and regulations which are in place related with the organ donation. So that's about the whole topic. And these are my references related with this organ donation. And lastly, I would like to say that we as health professionals need to come forward. We need to put our energy and our initiation towards this process of organ donation, because one donor can save at least 8 lives. So we have to take that initiative in order to come forward and become a part of this great mission in order to save the life of others. So there should be such a situation that like I have actually read this somewhere that if all the people are those who are dying, they are donating their organs to others, then there will not be a situation that any person has to die without getting an organ. Understood? So that type of a situation, let it come in the future, in the coming days. So that is my thoughts at this special occasion. So once again, I thank to all the organizers of Mahatma Gandhi College of Nursing for organizing this event, and also for inviting me to be taking this guest lecture. Thank you so much. I hope the students have got an idea related with the organ transplantation and all the major aspects I have covered related with the organ donation and transplantation, and hope this knowledge will be helpful for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Students, any doubt? No doubt. Okay, madam. No doubt. Yes. So very nicely you have explained, madam, about all the aspects of organ donation, what it is, the concept of organ donation, the process of organ donation, various organizations which are taking consideration of this process, and what are the different measures to be taken for enhancing organ donations and creating the awareness, and what are the different laws. So I think all the aspects very nicely you explained, and this I think that this has created a guest in our major insight in our students, and definitely they will create awareness among the patients and their relatives while going to the clinicals and the community. So thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
madam.
once again. And thank you to all the students for your patient listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And I would like to thank also the principal sir for providing us the opportunity for conducting such type of events. and to the IT team person for creating all the IT setups, and of course the Himanshu sir and Kapil sir for helping for organizing this event. So once again, I will thank each and all. Thank you very much.
Attendance list you can give yourself.
दोनों की two attendance list I have given for BSc Nursing first year, and the students who are having that paper, they can give that. Please pass.
Shall I
that.
leave, sir?
Yeah, madam. Yeah, madam. You can leave. Madam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Students give the attendance that pass that paper.
अरे उठ के लिया ना।